Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to go over the first page of Google, look at the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. So this is going to be a big one because it's Pikachu, and it's probably going to be a long video. And this is also going to include Pichu, so it'll be inside the Generation 2 playlist, and Alolan Raichu, which will put it inside the Generation 7 playlist. So there's a lot to come in here. Wish me luck. Yeah, I see this one a fair amount, and I remember seeing it a fair amount. We get it. Lieutenant Surge sounds funny. But Lieutenant Surge is cool, so, shut up. I guess we can talk about these two together since they're related, and I feel like they're pretty common for just about any sort of electric type ever. You're going to see them, and I'm not going to say they're bad. I'm going to say they're okay, but I am going to say they're pretty cliched. Tesla's another one you're going to see a fair bit, applicable to literally just about any electric type you want. Isn't Dr. Thunder a off-brand Dr. Pepper? Because I'm pretty sure it is. Blitzkrieg, there's another one that you're going to see so many times. Pretty generic electric type name, but you'll also see it used in like other Pokemon as well. Just know that you're going to see it for the rest of your life. Taser is a nickname where it's almost halfway decent. Because I like the idea of it, but I don't think it's good enough to use. But I feel like it's good enough to acknowledge, so where it's like you could say, hey, yeah, if you're desperate for an electric type nickname, you could use this. But I definitely feel like there's got to be way better out there. But at least this is something, I guess. Pocahontas. Okay, that's corny, and I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I just want to acknowledge it for at least getting a reaction out of me. Okay, I've scrolled past this a few times, and I didn't say anything because I wasn't quite sure, but I decided to check, and yes, for fact, Richie did name his Pikachu Sparky. So if you wanted to use Sparky as a nickname for Pikachu, it would fit as a nice reference to the anime. Personally, I think it's a very bad nickname, but if you want to use it, like, it fits for Pikachu as a nice reference. Jitters. Okay, so this is probably going to be a really obscure one, but actually I know about this. I haven't seen it, but I am a fan of Steven Plays, and I know that he named his Pikachu Jitters, and I don't know why, but I do think it's just in general kind of a cute nickname, and I just like that, so I'm a fan of that. I don't know if this was someone who is also a fan, or if that was just a funny coincidence, but yeah. Zap Tap I actually like, because I know for a fact that's a badge in Paper Mario. So that was also one of my favorite badges in Paper Mario, but I also think that works good for an electric type Pokemon, but especially one that has the static ability. So I actually do like Zap Tap. I think that one's pretty cool. Okay, so I just now realized what this is. That's the name of the girl who did the song. I think it was like Sarah Bareilles or something like that, who's like, I'm not gonna write you a love song. And then everybody in the entire internet like replaced the words "write you" with Raichu, and it just became this incredibly obnoxious joke. So there's that. I don't care for it, but I guess if you like that, you could do that. Alright, I just kind of want to acknowledge this page because I think it's funny. What are some nicknames for Raichu? No answers. And then it's just a whole bunch of other things. And I don't know why that's on the first page of Google. But, that's one less thing to look at, I guess. Oh, we got the funny language here. Can't read this, can't read that, or that, or that. Jitters. Bolt, I don't like Bolt. Keenan, that, I don't know why. It's like Keenan and Kel. Lychee, I don't understand that. Cheese, no. Rye, I'm not going to say it's good, but it actually kind of reminds me of Pokemon Stadium, where sometimes the characters, the trainers that you'd fight, would just take half of their Pokemon's names and name it like that. So instead of it being Meowth, it'd just be Meow. And I think if you wanted to do that as a theme and apply it to all of yours, that's totally fine and viable. That was something that me and my brother did like, for the first few years of playing Pokemon until eventually I started learning about cool, creative, clever nicknames, and I was like, I like these better. But, I mean, that's what that makes me think of. Yeah, here's one, I guess. Puka, who is the surfing Pikachu, in case you want to do that. I personally didn't like that episode at all, but there's that. I also saw P. Kahuna in there, so if you wanted to do that, that's also an option. Sunny D, that is not terrible, but not good. Just because, again, I don't necessarily mind the idea of naming Pokemon after food, or in this case, drinks. I think maybe Sunny D might be better for, like, Sunflora or Cherim, but there's that, I guess. Now this I want to acknowledge, because the entire thread is Alolan Raichu, you can see right there. He doesn't spell it quite the best, but I do have written down, because I actually do like it. I think it's kind of clever. Kawathunda instead. I don't know why there's a G in there, but yeah, that I think is a really clever nickname for an Alolan Raichu, and it kind of fits the whole surfing motif pretty well. Holy shit. How the fuck could you possibly think Bolto is a good nickname? All of these are bad, but I think I might have just gotten a headache from reading the word Bolto. Okay, you're also, because it says Alolan Raichu, sometimes it just mixes this stuff in. You're gonna see a lot of things like pancakes or syrup, and I wouldn't do it, but I'm gonna say that it's pretty common, and I want to say in the anime they straight up did, because there was a pancake race episode, and I think that was where Alolan Raichu was in, so a lot of it kind of plays into that. I don't know if people think that they're being clever and original, or if they just are referencing the episode, but that's kind of a thing, and it's mostly because of like the color palette or something like that. Going back for a second, I think maybe flapjacks. I guess if you wanted to also further the pancake jokes, flapjacks could work, and that's at least something that not everybody said, but means the exact same thing, a synonym. Can I make fun of this for a second? Blitzkrieg is perfect. Blitzkrieg isn't allowed. I imagine he's probably talking about censorship, and that's kind of dumb. But I guess advice for those of you who play Pokemon Go, if you'd ever do encounter this kind of thing, hold down on one of the letters and just change it from being a regular English version of, let's say, a T to like a T with a tail or an I with an accent, and then you can get past the censor filter that way. Can't do it inside the actual official Pokemon games, but if you are playing Go, you can at least cheat that. Okay, so we've reached the bottom of this page. We have stumbled across some Alolan stuff, but just to be sure, we're going to type in Alolan Raichu and see what sort of different variations we can come across, and maybe more better nicknames. Oh, here you go, Shockwave. That's one I see a fair bit, and again, this is an example where I actually do like it, and I think it works pretty well for Alolan Raichu. The problem is, it's the name of an attack, so it's kind of awkward to say Shockwave, you Shockwave, or something like that. So I think that's good, but I think it would be much better if the attack didn't exist. So that's clever, and I like that, especially for Alolan Raichu, but it's just, it has that weird moment for it. And that one link was literally the only thing that was different by typing in Alolan Raichu. Everything else is the same. So, to end it off, we have the spreadsheet. I don't know why Ketchup is there. That just... Static Shock is not the worst. That's a nice little comic reference for you, I guess, if you want to do that. I'm not going to say I have negative things to say about it, but I'm not a fan of it, so I don't really have an opinion. I've seen Chupacabra, I think it's trying to say Chupacabra. I've seen that a few times, and it's like, that's not bad. I just don't care. But if that's a thing you like, then there's that. But that's it for the whole Pikachu, Raichu, Pichu, Alolan form line. And the ones that I liked best, and apparently I've seen some that didn't show up. Zap Tap was one I really liked. Sparky, if you want to do the reference to Richie, I don't think it's good personally, but if you want to, you can. The one that I have written down, but apparently we didn't stumble across, or I just missed it, was Pipsqueak. And I think that was for Pichu. That's not terrible, but it's like, that's at least something that I've only seen one time opposed to a billion times. Jitters, I liked, I don't know, I haven't seen that LP, so I just think it's a good name, personally, that's about it. As far as the Alolan thing, I think Cowathundo was pretty good. Then you got all the pancake jokes, Shockwave, and one that I came up with myself was Wipeout, which I actually think is, it fits the whole surfing motif, and at least that's original and different from anything anyone else has said. The one I personally use was kind of like along the stadium lines, where when me and my brother would name it, we'd name it after ourselves. So we would call it Raichu instead, and that's kind of one that I've been doing for 15 years and kind of used to, because you only got to just change one letter and it still sounds natural. But it is kind of on the line of boring Pokemon Stadium stuff, and that's about it. So those are my things, and yeah, it wasn't a total bust, but it wasn't exactly the greatest either.